head outdoors, though.
Sure.
Keep in mind, monsoon has a couple of weeks left.
It does.
Technically.
It does. You know, we know it starts to kind of sputter out toward the middle of September.
Yeah.
But, you know, we have to be careful out there. We just saw that flooding in Mora not days ago.
That's
and
right.
we are looking at the potential for some areas in terms of flooding, at least to be at risk for the next few days. But right now, I do want to show you, of course, some of that outdoor beauty that New Mexico has to offer us. This is from our Buffalo Thunder Skycam out there at Pueblo Poake, and it is 85 degrees and mostly dry at the moment. You know, a few clouds can be spotted over the Sangre de Cristos, but not a lot of rain, at least at Buffalo Thunder. And the same story here in Albuquerque, where right now it's 86 degrees. This is about on par, about average for what we expect in terms of temperature for this time of year. Right now, though, we are also looking at something which is expected for this time of year, and it's these monsoon showers, which continue across the northern mountains and out toward the eastern plains. Now, to zoom in a little bit for you, you know, there's a little bit of moisture near Mora, but not actively falling right now. I'm actually watching some thunderstorm activity, which is moving fairly quickly through the southern extent of the Sangre de Cristo Mountains. And it's that fast movement that is helping us avoid some rapid flooding within that area of the state. Same thing for these storms across the eastern plains, just delivering mostly beneficial rain. You know, we still are in drought in some spots of the state, and every little drop helps. Very happy to see that. And in areas from central New Mexico, Socorro, just isolated storms. These are very spotty in nature as we look out there toward areas like Reserve. And that's about it. Once the sun sets, those storms are going to lose some of that oomph, some of that power, and we're going to be heading into a mild and mostly dry night throughout the state. Now, as we start looking at the flash flood threat for tomorrow, you know, I want to make you aware that we're not looking at the biggest threat available. That would be, of course, this purple high threat. We are looking at the sort of entry-level threat for marginal flooding, but it does hit sensitive areas. We're going to be talking about places like Mora, also the Hermit's Peak Calf Canyon burn scar for tomorrow. Some areas of the metro could get some light flooding if these storms do just kind of sit over the area. But it looks like most of the activity and most of that flood threat is going to be around the northern burn scars. And unfortunately, that may be the case once again Wednesday. We are going to start to dry out, though, across southern New Mexico. I think that's going to be some good news for Ruidoso, which has had a heck of a monsoon regarding flooding. It's going to be hotter there, though, within that area by Thursday. And isolated activity should start to ramp up once again Friday, because we're going to be getting an influx of monsoon moisture from the west and the southwest. So as we get into the weekend, that setup is going to set up many numerous storms. And I'm expecting to see that even areas like Albuquerque could have a rainy weekend. More details about that as we get a little bit closer to the weekend. But you can see that here for tomorrow across the southeast. I'm anticipating mostly 80s and 90s, about 91 degrees for areas like Hobbs. Across the southwest, fairly dry. It's not impossible to get rain in areas like Silver City for tomorrow, a 10 to 20% chance, but it's looking pretty dry across Roswell for the next few days. The northeast for tomorrow, now this is an area which is going to be fairly active, especially Mora, places like Raton, and even down toward areas like Santa Rosa. Across the northwest, isolated storms, but not a big chance for areas like Farmington. In fact, it's looking dry within that area of the state tomorrow into Wednesday, but very productive in terms of rain for the next several days in areas like Las Vegas, especially toward the weekend. Across the North Mountains for tomorrow, at least it's going to be nice and cool with all that cloud cover. I'm anticipating that Santa Fe is going to be holding on to about a 20 to 30% chance of some storms through at least Thursday. Friday into the weekend, that rain chance really starts to crank up. Now, across the East Mountains for tomorrow, I think we'll be lucky if we get some good wetting rain out there. Otherwise, it's just going to be another warmish day across the metro. I'm expecting to see just a little 10% chance of showers for the next few days. But you'll notice for Rio Rancho and Albuquerque, that rain chance really goes up by Friday.